Has anyone ever mentioned that life after 80 can feel more like enduring than truly living? It's not something people often talk about openly, but the reality is that growing older doesn't always bring peace, wisdom, or calm mornings. Sometimes it arrives with physical decline, unexpected emotional burdens, and concerns you never imagined carrying. Reaching your 80s is no small feat. You've worked, struggled, loved, and built a life. But this stage introduces changes that are hard to describe unless you're living them. Even if your reflection in the mirror looks familiar, your strength, memory, and independence may begin to fade, like fabric worn thin over time. What often goes unspoken, and is rarely found in books or retirement guides, is how aging in your 80s can present new challenges. These are not just physical hurdles, but emotional, mental, and even spiritual tests that can reshape how you see yourself and the world around you. This message isn't meant to instill fear, but to foster understanding. It aims to acknowledge the quiet struggles many older adults face but seldom voice. It's about helping you prepare, both mentally and practically, for the subtle but significant obstacles that can arise with advanced age. We'll be exploring 7 difficult yet important truths about life beyond 80. Insights you deserve to hear so you can approach this phase of life with strength, self-respect, and a sense of control. Being informed about what lies ahead isn't about being negative. It's about being empowered. With the right mindset and preparation, you can face the challenges of aging with dignity and resilience. Let's begin this honest conversation. Reality number 1, the shrinking social circle. By the time you reach your 80s, you may notice that your phone doesn't ring as often, not because people don't care, but because many of them are simply no longer there to call. One of the most difficult truths of growing older is the gradual loss of your social circle. Friends pass away, longtime neighbors move into assisted living, and even close family members become more distant as they juggle their own busy lives. It's not always about death, it's about absence. An absence that creeps in slowly and quietly. Weekly lunches with an old friend stop happening. Familiar voices that once filled your Sundays vanish. And the saddest part? Those connections are rarely replaced. As peers grow fewer, their unique place in your life remains unfilled. The younger generation, while kind, doesn't share your history or understand your memories in the same way. This thinning social network doesn't just affect your calendar, it impacts your spirit. Loneliness in old age isn't just about being physically alone. It's the feeling of invisibility. It's realizing that fewer people know the full story of your life, that fewer people remember who you were in your younger years. It's waking up and wondering if anyone would notice if you didn't get out of bed. This fading connection to others can gradually erode your sense of self and purpose. That's why acknowledging this change is so important. The reality is that your social world may continue to contract after 80, often more quickly than expected. But there's a hopeful side too. You still have the ability to create new connections. Many older adults begin volunteering, not just to stay busy, but to feel engaged. Others find comfort in familiar, small interactions, speaking to the same store clerk regularly, joining a local book club, or attending a weekly community event. You don't have to recreate the past to feel connected again. Even a single new bond can make a difference. If you're feeling the ache of those quiet losses, know that you're not alone, and that your story still matters. There are still people out there who would be enriched by hearing it. Reality number 2, the body's quiet resistance after 80. As you move into your 80s, your body doesn't just age, it starts to shift in unexpected and subtle ways. One day, your joints feel strong and stable. The next, your knees ache with every step. It's not usually a dramatic breakdown that surprises most older adults, but rather the quiet, unpredictable changes. Stiffness appears without warning, your appetite fades for no clear reason, and naps begin to feel less like a choice and more like a necessity. Many people anticipate a slow, steady decline in strength, but what catches them off guard is how inconsistent their bodies become. You may sleep well for several nights, then suddenly find yourself wide awake at 3 a.m., staring into the dark. Foods that never bothered you before may now cause discomfort or digestive issues. It's as if your body has started rewriting the rules without letting you know. And this uncertainty can leave you feeling frustrated and even betrayed by the body you've relied on for decades. This unpredictability can wear on you emotionally. You might constantly question whether a new symptom is just temporary or the beginning of something more serious. Is this something to be concerned about, or will it pass? That constant second-guessing can be exhausting. And to make it more difficult, others often don't notice what you're going through. You may appear fine, walking, handling tasks, smiling and joking, but beneath that, you're constantly adjusting. You plan errands around your good hours, skip meals to avoid discomfort, or take more breaks not because you're lazy, but because your legs feel unsteady. What makes this process harder is its unpredictability. There are days when you feel surprisingly youthful, which gives you hope. Then the next day, your body feels more fragile than ever, and that hope fades a bit. It's not weakness. It's simply the reality of an aging body that now requires more attention, care, and flexibility. But there is a way to cope with this ongoing shift. Small, steady routines. Simple actions like drinking warm water first thing in the morning, stretching gently before bed, or stepping outside for a few minutes of sunlight can make a real difference. These practices help remind your body and yourself that you're not giving up. You're adapting. And that quiet determination, the willingness to flow with the changes rather than fight them, is a powerful form of strength. It's how we age with grace and resilience. Reality number 3, the circle grows smaller after 80. One of the most difficult realities to accept as we age is that our social circle inevitably begins to shrink. Sometimes this happens slowly and subtly. Other times it changes rapidly. Friends you used to speak with regularly may stop answering the phone. Neighbors you once shared coffee and conversation with may move away or pass on. Even your own family, those who once depended on you for everything, can become more distant, consumed by the demands of their own lives. It's not always a matter of people caring less. Life simply shifts. Your children may now be grandparents themselves, balancing careers, family responsibilities, health concerns, and their own stresses. Though their love for you remains, the phone calls dwindle, the visits become shorter, and your sense of connection begins to fade. At first, you may reassure yourself that it's just a busy season, but as weeks turn into months, milestones pass with only a brief message, and holidays become quieter, you begin to feel the void. You may catch yourself reflecting more on the past, revisiting fond memories and conversations, because new memories are harder to make. Physical limitations also begin to shape your social life. Perhaps driving at night becomes unsafe, or noisy environments are now difficult to navigate. Getting ready for social outings might feel exhausting. So even when there's a chance to connect, you hesitate, weighing the effort it will take. More often than not, the effort feels too great. This creates a subtle but painful cycle. Less interaction leads to feeling invisible, and feeling invisible makes it easier for others to overlook you. It's rarely intentional, but the loneliness is very real. Sandra, an 84-year-old woman, once said her loneliest moment wasn't being by herself. It was realizing no one expected her call, no one noticed when she missed a gathering, and no one was waiting for her to arrive. But here's what matters most. A smaller circle doesn't mean your life has lost its meaning. Connection doesn't require a crowd. Even 1 or 2 meaningful relationships, a friend to laugh with or simply sit beside, can bring a deep sense of belonging. That may require you to reach out, even when it feels uncomfortable. Write a note, accept the invitation, make the call. Consider giving where you're needed. Mentor someone, volunteer, or share your story. You might feel unnoticed, but someone is listening, and what you've lived through could be exactly what they need to hear. Aging doesn't mean becoming invisible. It takes effort to stay connected, but your presence still matters. Your circle may be smaller, but your worth has not diminished. Reality number 4, the weight of outliving loved ones. There's a quiet sorrow that comes from outliving the people you've loved most. After 80, this isn't just a possibility, it becomes a recurring experience. You don't say goodbye once, you say it over and over. You lose friends who knew you as a child, siblings who shared your earliest memories, even the spouse you imagined spending forever with. It's more than grief. It's the heavy burden of holding on to memories that no one else shares. You become the last person who remembers a moment from decades ago, the only one who knows why that scratch is on the hallway wall or what made a certain day so special in 1963. The conversations that once began with "remember when" now fall silent because there's no one left to remember with you. This kind of loneliness isn't just about being alone. It's about being the sole keeper of a life's worth of shared history. The faces in your life story have faded, and the audience that once knew every chapter has grown smaller. And with that comes a different kind of pain, sometimes a quiet guilt, not from anything you've done, but from simply being the one who remains. You may wonder why you're still here when others are not. You think back on things you might have said or done differently. You carry memories that never got a proper ending. This grief doesn't disappear, it simply shifts, becoming a part of your daily life. Robert, 87, once shared that the hardest part of growing old wasn't the physical discomfort, but the moments when he instinctively reached for a second coffee cup or imagined his wife's voice answering a thought he hadn't spoken aloud. Yet in all of this, there's a quiet kind of strength. There's bravery in being the one who remembers, in getting out of bed even when the house feels empty. There's value in telling stories that keep those you've lost alive in the hearts of others. Your voice becomes the thread connecting past to present. If you're feeling the weight of outliving others, know that you're not alone, and your story still matters. There's great power in remembrance, in honoring those who came before you by sharing who they were. Aging may come with losses, but it also carries the grace of legacy, and you are its living keeper. Reality number 5, the quiet loss of independence after 80. As you reach your 80s, something subtle yet unsettling can begin to happen. Even if you're mentally sharp, physically capable, and living independently, people around you may start treating you as if you're no longer fully able to make your own decisions. Your personal freedom starts to shrink, often without anyone noticing. It might begin with small, well-meaning actions. Your children insisting on driving you places, even when you're confident behind the wheel, or questioning your eating habits, sleep schedule, or how you manage your medications. Their intentions come from a place of care, but the result is often an erosion of your autonomy. Before you realize it, decisions are no longer solely yours. They're being shaped, advised, or gently nudged by others. That's when frustration sets in. You've lived a full life, learned your own limits, and earned the right to make your own choices. But the world around you begins acting as though aging has taken that right away. As if growing older voids the wisdom and self-awareness you've spent a lifetime building. You may notice your voice carries less weight in conversations. Your preferences may be overlooked or dismissed. Joyce, 84, shared how her daughter started managing every aspect of her day, from daily walks to TV shows, all out of love. But it made her feel like she was losing control of her own life. She didn't feel incapable, she felt invisible, treated more like a child than an adult with decades of experience. This is one of the quiet struggles of growing older, fighting to retain your agency in a world that often assumes you've lost it. It's not about resisting help, it's about holding on to your dignity. You deserve to be asked, not told. And that starts with setting boundaries. Saying out "thank you, but I'd like to handle this myself" isn't selfish, it's essential. At this stage, protecting your independence helps preserve your sense of self. The decisions you make, what to eat, where to go, how to spend your time, are more than just routine choices. They are reflections of who you are. And regardless of age, your identity still matters. Your voice still matters. And it deserves to be heard and respected. Reality number 6, the emotional toll of outliving loved ones. One of the most difficult parts of life after 80 isn't physical discomfort. It's the emotional weight of loss. Over time, the people who once filled your days with phone calls, shared holidays, and familiar laughter begin to disappear. Friends pass away, siblings fade from your daily life, and sometimes even a lifelong partner is gone. What remains is more than sorrow. It's a deep, quiet stillness that slowly weaves itself into your everyday routine. Grief in later years feels different. It's not always sharp or overwhelming like it once was. Instead, it's constant, quiet, like a low hum in the background of your life. You might wake up one morning and realize there's no one left to share a memory from decades ago. No one who remembers what you were like in your youth, or who understands the private jokes and laughter you once shared. That kind of loneliness doesn't shout, it simply lingers, present in the silent spaces of your day. This emotional shift can make you feel unmoored, like you're drifting in a world that keeps moving forward while your anchors, the people who knew your history, slowly vanish. And no one really prepares you for that. No one teaches you how to keep going when you're carrying invisible grief. It takes quiet strength to get up, eat breakfast, smile, or hold a conversation while bearing the weight of so much loss. Charles, an 87-year-old man, once shared that he had attended more funerals in the past 5 years than he could count. With each one, he felt like a small part of his own life was buried alongside them. Many older adults carry this feeling, often silently, not because they don't feel it, but because loss becomes part of the fabric of daily living. And yet, what helps many keep going is the choice to remain open, to continue building connections, even when goodbyes are a possibility. Some find joy in laughing with someone new, having a neighbor over for coffee, or sharing stories with someone far younger. These moments, though different from the past, keep the heart engaged. Staying connected isn't just about passing the time, it's how we continue to feel alive within. So if you're walking through this season of grief, don't hide from the sadness. It's real and it's valid. But also know that there's still space for happiness, for laughter, and for love, even if it looks different now. Let grief walk beside you, but don't let it stop you. That's how you keep moving forward. Reality number 7, embracing your fragility with grace after 80. One of the most humbling realizations in your 80s is coming to terms with your own fragility, not just in terms of bones or muscles, but in the small daily tasks that once felt effortless. Things like tying your shoes, rising from a low chair, or holding a cup without shaking now take more effort and attention. You may not feel old all the time, but each little ache or stumble is a reminder that your body has changed. These reminders can slowly chip away at your confidence. You may begin to second-guess activities you once did without hesitation, taking a walk alone, cooking a full meal, or even traveling. Your daily routine becomes less about what you want to do and more about what you can safely do. While that's a necessary adjustment, it can also make life feel more limited. But here's the truth. Fragility doesn't equal weakness. It's a sign of wisdom, of learning how to move through life with care. It's your body guiding you to be more mindful, your years of strength teaching you how to adapt. I once met a woman named Nancy, age 84, who said something that stuck with me. "I don't mind needing a cane now. I earned it. It's a reminder that I've walked a long road and I'm still going." That perspective makes all the difference. Some people try to deny their limitations, pretending they're as strong as ever. But others find real strength in adaptation, using supportive tools, asking for help when needed, and taking things slowly. Ironically, it's often those who accept their fragility who remain independent the longest. They're not fighting reality, they're working with it. So instead of resisting these changes, learn to live alongside them. Real strength at this stage of life isn't about powering through discomfort or proving you can still do it all. It's about prioritizing what truly matters, conserving your energy, and showing up each day with intention and grace. What matters most is not how much you can do, but how you approach each day, with dignity, resilience, and the quiet strength that only comes from a life well lived. Final thoughts. Life after 80 isn't just about managing physical changes. It's about confronting some of life's deepest realities with courage and openness. It's okay to admit that this stage isn't always easy, but there's real strength in understanding these truths and choosing to face them with wisdom instead of fear. You are not a burden. You are not invisible. You are still here, and that matters. Your experiences, your voice, your laughter, and even your resilience, they continue to hold great value. Your life still has meaning, and so does your presence. Care for your mental well-being. Allow yourself to feel and express your emotions. Don't bottle them up. Acknowledge loneliness if it comes, but don't let it define you. Stay engaged, stay interested, and keep your heart open to new connections and experiences. Be honest about financial realities, but don't lose your spirit of giving. Choose kindness, even in small moments. And when your body moves slower or feels less steady, carry yourself with pride, because every step you take is part of a long, meaningful journey. Aging gracefully isn't about perfection. It's about showing up each day with dignity, honesty, and heart. Thank you for being with us today. We'd love to hear from you. Please share one insight you gained and how you'll apply it in your life. Your feedback truly matters and inspires us to keep going. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with others. Your support helps us continue creating meaningful content to inform and uplift. We appreciate your time and look forward to connecting with you in the next video.